The new face of boxing corruption, Blue Blood Sports TV, Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence, financial ducking.
You're not supposed to get it for trying hard. You're supposed to get it for winning.
The sport of boxing is the wild, wild west.
The whole thing is begging to be corrupted. Boxing is like building a city, building a community on toxic ground.
No other sport is rampant with corruption like the sport of boxing. With the exception of baseball and steroids, boxing has a ripe history filled with corruption.
But it's about business, right? Then it was brought back to our attention. They might have hit a snag in negotiations with the Errol Spence fight. Okay, cool. It's just an opportunity for us.
Whether it's financial, to cheat a fighter, to duck a fight, no one can argue the role corruption plays in the sport of boxing.
Well, that is what boxing and the structure of boxing has been built on. The people that are making money in the sport, the promoters, the managers, you have the people making money. They are in the same place right next to the people that are supposedly administrating the sport.
From Don King to AL HAYMON, the top-ranked boss, Bob Arum, now to the new face of corruption in boxing, Blue Blood Sports.
It was brought to our attention and to my attention that the fight is not going to happen. His lawyer is saying this. So for all you idiots in there talking about Blue knew already, how the hell would I know?
There's no policing. There's nothing. There's no, God almighty, there's nothing in place to make sure that corruption doesn't happen.
I think most fight fans would define corruption in boxing as cheating, receiving a bad judgment, poor refereeing. But what about the financial side of corruption? What about when you're offered more money than you deserve to avoid a fight everyone wants to see? Is that corruption or is that good business?
The people making money, they're right in there with the people that responsibility of administrating the sport.
Terrence Bud Crawford might have just pulled the most skeptical, suspicious sucker move of 2022. I don't know if I could put him pound for pound number one. I feel like Bud Crawford was playing, had something in his back pocket. I know what Blue Blood said, but I feel like Blood Crawford, it looks like to me, Blood Crawford was leveraging this offer with the Spence offer and trying to get the most money he could.
And for one, I don't lie to nobody. I ain't lie to nobody on the panel. I don't lie to nobody in the chat. I don't got to make up stories. Blue is 10 toes down. I'm the same dude everywhere I go.
With virtually zero oversight controlling the sport of boxing, it should be to no one's surprise that financial corruption is the biggest problem within the sport.
Terence Bud Crawford get $10 million for his next fight on BLK Prime. BLK Prime, who? What? Against who? That's not Errol Spence, is it? You guys asked me about this $10 million. So last year, this $10 million sounds familiar to me. Last year, Terence Bud Crawford was going to fight Manny Pacquiao. Remember that? In Dubai. And Manny Pacquiao was going to get $40 million, and Terence Bud Crawford was going to get $10 million. Fight fell through. So who owns BLK Prime? Few of the names who are investors. So you ask yourself, is it the same $10 million?
All of y'all keep the same energy.
Me personally, I think there are three different kinds of corruption in boxing. There's financial corruption, there's outright cheating where a fighter might have taken something or might have paid a ref or a judge to give him a better decision. And then you have ducking. I think ducking is corruption within boxing. When you're purposely matchmaking certain fighters to face up with each other, knowing one is most likely overmatched, that is corruption to me.
I know this type of SHIT is why I left boxing years ago. Now there's another fight who no one wants to see, SMMFH. There's another fight who no one cares to see. But Blue, you my guy and have been for years now, and I'm not going to lie, I feel betrayed by the sport. Again, BLK or whatever should have stayed out of it and forced Bud back to the negotiations instead of helping him avoid Spence.
Yeah, no problem. I'll listen to what y'all talking about, but my number one objective is to secure the fight with Errol Spence.
When it comes to Blue Blood Sports TV and the financial corruption that destroyed the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford fight, I think it goes a little deeper. What are the motivations for Blue Blood to step in and take advantage not only of the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford negotiation, but as well his fan base?
I had to see me either way, so it don't even really matter. Anybody that got a world title, so that's Errol Spence, but...
The fans of boxing are normally the ones that get screwed over when it comes to corruption. Whether it's you watching your favorite fighter, hoping he will win an unwinnable situation, even when he does triumph, the referee giving a bad decision or a judge making a bad call. I think corruption has touched every fan within the sport. Nowadays, corruption goes deeper because of the influence of social media on the sport of boxing. Boxing talk is huge, and Blue Blood Sports TV is one of the biggest boxing talk channels on YouTube. Now, I know the fans of Blue Blood would say he deserves any type of financial gain he can make off of his channel, and I totally agree with that. But when you start to use deception, when you're lying to your own subscribers, when you're telling half-truths, then it becomes corruption within the sport. And it's something that needs to be talked about.
Same thing Crawford doing fighting Avanesian. That would be the same thing if Earl take Stanionis. I'm taking the back block. I ain't gonna go on the big street.
Y'all don't pay attention very well. I didn't know anything. Let me explain something to y'all.
And we turn around and find out that he is the leading cause for the fight not happening. Not only that, they threw a financial gain Terence Crawford's way of $10 million to ensure the Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. fight would not happen. And to me, that is boxing corruption at its finest.
We trying to get in the boxing game. When it was brought to our attention that there's a possibility that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight might not happen until next year, right? Which means that Terence Crawford didn't fight since November of 2021 against Sean Porter. And it was brought to his attention, right, that he won't be fighting until February or March of next year. So when I saw Terence Crawford at 7-Eleven, right, and we had the conversation that I'm telling y'all about, okay, so now Terence Crawford is telling me yada yada, so on and so forth, etc. As far as I knew at that point, he's fighting Errol Spence. Then we get word back that Errol Spence's team is not looking to make the fight happen to 2023.
Love him or hate him, Blue Blood Sports TV has now taken on the role of your most hated boxing promoters within the sport. He is now on the same level of a dying king, a Bob Arum. Anybody that you can point a finger at and say, you ruined the career of my favorite fighter, you might as well place Blue Blood on that same pedestal. Some fans and fighters are still in it for the legacy and the historical moments that are created with the sport of boxing. Hit that like button for me, share, subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, but you're more than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there if you want a response. It's your boy, and we are
It's your boy Keys, neighborhood employee. Niggas knew that I was coming with fire. Y'all ain't up to my pie and up under a car. Your head under a tie, it's the S and the I. Player, we supposed to win. I'm in the booth focusing with coke in hand. Dude hate it when they see the chief running in. Ass mouth hurting like his wisdom teeth coming in. Now that's a roundhouse kick. Come round your house, letting rounds out quick. From Newburgh to downtown, it's that Midwest to down south shit. Y'all ain't fucking with. She chillin', saying tryna put the VL on the mouth. What's good? She nothing, saying tryna show his niggas how to ride.